Hi, welcome back to Home Boundless. Now let's talk about garden plans. I make a garden plan every single year, and honestly, I don't really follow it when it comes time to putting plants in the ground very much. I do sort of have I have it in my mind, okay, this is where the big stuff goes. The excitement of the moment of just sticking seeds in the ground or finding a plant sale and having extra plants. And what do you do when people give you plants? You stick them in the ground somewhere. So the garden plan is not meant to be like solid and rigid, but it is good to go through so that you have an idea of what you need to be starting as far as seeds or buying. If you are buying all your seedlings, gotta have a plan. And the best plans, of course, are for things that you're going to actually use. So this year, before I did my garden plan, I went over my meal plan. I made a list of the foods that we eat and therefore the foods that we need to grow. Garlic I planted last year. So we have garlic taken care of. Onions, I don't know if I will start any onions. What I have is I have a bed of walking onions, and we have a bed that's full of mother plants, and then a bed full of other plants. So we're going to be eating, we have a whole bed. It goes bigger. I just didn't have that kind of space. I should have done this the other way, but it is what it is. I have this whole bed full of walking onions that we'll be able to eat from. And then as far as snacks, we have raspberries and strawberries and more more raspberries on the other side of the house, and we have service berries, so we're good on the berry front. We could always be better, but for the space that we are good on the berry front. So garlic and onions taken care of. Zucchini, I was thinking about this year. Last year I had peppers. We have like this space in front of the small trellis. I think I'm gonna fill this with zucchini because we need at least 3 plants to have a good glut of zucchini. One plant doesn't really give you very much zucchini. I think one year all but one died and I got 1 zucchini for the entire summer. 2 plants gives you a reasonable amount of zucchini. It is probably the right amount of zucchini, but it also it feels like the wrong amount of zucchini. So I think in order to like really get into the zucchini glut category, you need a good 3 zucchinis. And I think 3 zucchinis is your bare minimum for the amount of zucchini plants that you need in order to get way too many zucchinis. And then the other question is this one right here. Last year it was tomatoes. The year before it was squash. So it'll either be tomatoes or squash because our sun is about here. This is where we get the sun. This is less sun. This is much less sun. So, and I have other beds here too, but this is really the sun area, and this is the area that we really want to plan out because it gets used up quickly. So I'm debating putting tomatoes on this one or this one. I think I want to put them back here. I think I was going to put peppers here anyway. So I'll make this tomatoes and peppers. Then the other consideration with tomatoes, we'll do it over here too, is what kind of tomatoes you're going to grow. And I know that like it'd be really nice to have a lot of big slicer tomatoes, like the really big beefy ones, but we don't have a long enough season, so I don't end up getting enough of those. So we do a lot of cherry tomatoes because they make good snacks. And I got some spoon tomatoes in as free seeds from Baker Creek this year, so I think we're going to try those. So mostly we are getting like Roma-sized tomatoes and cherry tomatoes. Roma-sized tomatoes because they're good for just general cooking, and cherry tomatoes because, ooh, sorry for kicking you, they're good for snacking. And then we've got space here. That's going to be peppers. So I like to put my hot peppers in this corner. Well, they'll get lots of sun and they'll be less likely to get chomped on by curious children who will regret it. But I think I might have enough. And I'm not even starting pepper seeds this year. I'm going to use my overwintered peppers and just hope for the best. So we're going to put the jalapenos and spicy peppers back here. And then more bell peppers here. It's not a massive... Oh, that's a really weird looking pepper. It looks like a tooth. It's not a massive space. I think this is about 4 feet. Then we have maybe 6 or so feet here, so there's not a lot of room for much else, but I think we can squeeze in something else in this row. And then I think I'm going to put spaghetti squash up front because that doesn't really need much beyond just helping it be on the trellis. Like, it's going to be there until the fall. We don't have to watch it to see, to try and catch it at peak ripeness. So I have a new melon I want to try. I think I'm going to put the banana melon here where we can hopefully keep an eye on it. And then this one right here doesn't get as much, sun. So I usually either do, maybe we'll, yeah, you know what? Maybe we'll put another tomato, another squash over here. No, I don't. It took over this. Because I could put the cherries here. I don't. We'll leave that for now and then come back to it. And maybe we'll put the. They don't. No, we don't. We want the cherry. We want all the tomatoes together because they'll be yummier with more sun. I also have another trellis right here, but this doesn't get. This hasn't done very well. I think it doesn't get enough sun. So this is going to be peas and then later in the season, beans. And the trellis that goes over this arch. That's an arch trellis. Okay, so we've got our zucchini. Ooh, zucchini. And the kale is going to, there's an area over on the other side of the sidewalk that gets a good amount of shade. So it can't grow much. So we'll put the kale there and maybe some more Swiss chard. And then I don't think I'm going to grow lettuce outside. But if I do, I'll try it there. But yeah, I don't have luck with lettuce because lettuce outside, it bolts and it doesn't do well. And I can grow lettuce inside, so I shall. And carrots can kind of just go in wherever. That's the fun thing about carrots. So we'll just throw that in somewhere. Peas and beans, we have homes for you. The other thing I was thinking about is broccoli, because broccoli, we don't have a long enough season to grow broccoli. I think I accidentally managed to get broccoli once. Then last year or the year before, I did really well with some purple peacock broccoli. It was beautiful. This year I'm going to try broccoli rabe. So before I had the broccoli in this area, and I think I might just do that again. It's a weird bee. The broccoli rabe. I don't remember how to spell that. So I'm gonna guess. Cabbage. Yeah, cabbage. I think greyhound cabbage is our best, the cabbage that's worked best for us in the past. If you take the heads off of cabbage, but you leave like the leaves on the bottom, you can get another crop of it or two. I might try and squeeze in. I have a new cabbage, so I'm gonna squeeze in the new cabbage. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but we're going to put the new cabbage, and then maybe might do, actually honestly that's kind of a lot unless I'm succession sowing. And then herbs I will put in the herb planter. Cucumbers will go I just don't have enough space to grow all the melons and the squashes that I want. Okay, I'm gonna try putting some cucumbers on this arch as well, because I redid the beds and there's a lot more, there's more compost in the beds, so they might be happier now. We'll see. Honestly, I could probably pare back the tomatoes a little bit. I will keep the tomatoes on this one. The tomatoes can stay here, even though this is a good spot for things I don't have to touch, because that means I don't have to like sneak into my neighbor's yard to access it. That's a little bit more of my space here, but yeah. That's another project, is I need to make a harder line here. So we'll put tomatoes here, and then we'll put the cucumbers here. Although that's way too much sun. So we'll put some more melons here, or squash, something. More something. Let's put the melon here. And then I'll put the cucumbers here. No, we'll put another, yeah. Put more squash here. Squash of I have a new squash that I don't remember the name of. That's terrible handwriting. So I'll put the new squash here. I feel like that's a good way to try it because it's getting sun, but it's not, I'm not devoting my best sun to it because we don't know. We don't know if it's worthy yet, and then we'll put the cucumbers here. Cucumbers! And we have lots of berries, and they grow everywhere. And honestly, I think we'll put in some more cabbage. And some carrots. Which, you know, they grow everywhere, but like you can just throw them down. But the other thing that I am going to focus on this year is I'm going to plant more flowers because I want to have lots of dried flowers. So we're going to make this a dried flower area. So like straw flowers and gomphrena and status? I don't remember what all. I have lots of flowers this year. We'll squeeze in some more flowers. And we'll put in more flowers. And then I think we might have a little more space for some more flowers. And there we have it. We have a rough plan of everything that I need to plant in order to be able to cook the way I want to cook this summer. I have a couple, oh, I didn't even fill them in. How embarrassing. I have a couple of little beds in the backyard. They don't get a lot of sun and they don't currently have irrigation to them. That's actually one of the projects that I'm hoping to tackle in the spring, is I want to improve my irrigation. I have drip lines and that I've automated and set up in the front yard, and that's been life-changing, but they're kind of like cheapy kits, and they've definitely not fared too well over the years. They're supposed to be buried, which means that sometimes people maybe nick them with their shovels and whatnot. So a lot of it needs to be replaced, and I would like to maybe replace everything with something that works really well and that I can get into the backyard as well. So hopefully that's coming to me anyway. I don't know. Should I make a video? Do you want to see irrigation? I'm really excited to start seeds, everybody. I'm so excited. Let me know what you're growing. That's enough rambling. Calm down. Let me know what you're growing and what you're excited to grow. And that was a weird hiccup. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.